Good morning, people. Nimisha has already touched a little bit about sexual harassment, rape, and everything. Our next speaker will be related to this. When a person has charity in his mission and the courage to take over any situation, then no obstacle stands by his way to stop this. Everything simply becomes possible. We see this in Youth Against Injustice Foundation, an NGO, and their mission, Rape Mukt Bharat, to give a voice against injustice. Commencing their activity through spreading awareness on social media, they further made their root at ground level through seminar and campaigns, reaching out to the country that was still remain untouched through social media platforms. Spreading awareness and changing sick mentalities was the foremost significant task for the mission Rape Mukt Bharat. To spread the mission to remote places, the founder decided to do cycle campaign throughout the country. The founder, Piyush Monga, along with Rancho Desai, Yogesh Raval was all set to cover more than 50,000 kilometers all around the state and union territories of the country. An inauguration ceremony to initiate the cycle campaign was held on 17th October 2019 in Jantar Mantar, Delhi. The chief dignity of honor was Srimati Asa Devi, Nirbhaya's mother, who restlessly was fighting for his daughter's justice. Asa Devi ji inaugurated the campaign by flagging off, and then the three heroes started their cycle campaign for the awareness. On 17th October 2019, Youth Against Injustice Foundation started cycling, and till now they have covered 10,000 kilometers along the regions of Rajasthan, Gujarat, Maharashtra, Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, Bihar. The cycle campaign is currently at halt due to corona pandemic, but the second phase will soon begin after Diwali from Patna, Bihar. With major support and welcome from the officers, school and colleges at each location, all the event and seminar were a huge success. It's been a year since this Youth Against Injustice Foundation started, and they are already a recognized handler on Twitter, and they have more than 2.5 lakh followers on Instagram. And now it gives me immense pleasure and pride to invite our next guest, Mr. Danish Fazlani, the spokesperson of Youth Against Injustice Foundation, to enlighten us with his speech. All to you, sir.
Thank you. Sorry for picture quality. Actually, I like resources here, but as it's really important, we have to do this in this way, in such circumstances. Let me tell you about myself. I am Danish Fazlani, a member of Youth Against Injustice Foundation, working from last 1.5 years with the NGO. You heard about the YAR, Youth Against Injustice Foundation. Youth Against Rape is a mission taken by YAR. Sneha told you about it. Let me tell you about some few things which she didn't mention. We do awareness campaign, and that awareness campaign consists mostly sex education, good touch, bad touch, and we do it according to the age group. This is the thing which are really required in today's India. Because mostly, if you talk about this, if you talk about sex education to people around you, they will like, why? Why do we need this? This will spoil children. But actually, that's not the case. And we do it as per the age group, so that each and every age student and as per their requirements, we give them the sex education. So this is the basic info about Youth Against Injustice Foundation. For more info, you can visit the website www.yaifoundation.org. Now let's start with the session. Before starting a session, I would like to quote Albert Einstein. He said, "Life is like a bicycle. Life is like a bicycle. Keep riding. If you want to keep riding, you have to keep the balance. Life is like a bicycle. Riding a bicycle. If you want to keep riding, you have to balance it." So, like today, our youth don't know how to balance the life. What they do is, if they like something, they start doing it and cross all limits in it. and this is the problem. This is where problem arises. As the subject and the topic given to me, let's start with it. Before starting the session, I would like to quote some stats, not to afraid you all, but to let you know that this is the stats of our country, so that you can keep back of your mind, you can keep it and you can be like, okay, we have to change this. So let me quote WHO. WHO said, WHO revealed that 7.5% of Indian population suffers from some form of mental disorders. 7.5% of total population. Okay. Next is mental illness consists of 1/8 of all health-related disorders. 1/8 of all health-related disorders in India. And India accounts for nearly 15% of global mental health disorders. 15% of all over the world. Okay? And this is a really serious stat I'm going to say about it. The treatment gap between the mental illness and the patient that get the treatment is 70% only. Means the 30% of the patient who are having a mental disorders don't get the treatment. And the most serious issue is WHO predicted that by the end of 2020, by the end of this year, India will have 20% of cases of mental disorder of overall population. And the thing is, we only have 4,000 mental health professionals. Only 4,000. The real problem arises from here. Okay. So what we have to do to change this scenario? What we have to, how we can take initiatives to change this scenario? Working as a social activist and working from last 1.5 years, I have met thousands of youth of India from all over the country, from south, from north, from east, from west, from central of India, and I have talked with them. I have a connection with them. Talking with them actually show me what actual real problems they have on ground level. They discuss with me. Sometimes they take me as a big brother and share what they actually going through. Even Youth Against Injustice Foundation has a separate department called a counseling department, where we try to help our own members so that they can overcome the problems they are having in their life, and they can run both. They can take their life and our mission with parallel, working as a parallel in. They can work parallelly. So when I talk with them, I came across many of members who have issues like Amisha ma'am, Nisha ma'am told before that parents and children. Somebody asked her question about how one should contact parents, how one should talk with the parents. So I would like to share a case where I was talking with a guy. I don't want to tell his name. I was talking with him and he was sharing with me about his problems. So the biggest problem he has in his life is with his parents. He don't used to talk and don't used to share everything with his parent, and he used to think that his parent don't like him. His parent are his biggest enemy. So he told me about it. So while talking, I gave him a suggestion. Why don't you try to talk with them? Like every other person will give this suggestion to anyone. So he was like, I can't do it. I can't do it on the face. So I suggest him, okay, don't do it on the face. Try to do it by other medium. Write a letter to them. Okay, this is not an era where we write letters. So I suggest him to write a letter. But he said, okay, I won't write a letter. So I suggest if they are on WhatsApp, text them so that if you text them, they will like, okay, they will read. So what he did, he started texting them his feelings about them and how he needs them to treat him. He tried once, he tried twice, he tried thrice. He didn't get the response. The reason is parents were confused as well. They don't know how to react to it. and I'm seriously saying this, that our Indian parents don't know how to react to children at in this thing, in such circumstance. They don't know how to react. So what happened here is his parent didn't respond it. He tried twice. Then what he started to write a letter. He write a letter and he kept that letter under the pillow of her mother. One day her mother read it and she seriously come to his child, to him, and she gave a hug to him and talked it out. They both cried, they both talked it out, and they solved it everything. Now that guy is inspiration to us. He's trying to be an inspiration to others. He is motivated. At one time, that same person used to get suicidal thoughts, but now he is out of it just by sharing simple ideas. So this is the thing we can do. We have very less personal health personnel to eradicate the mental disorders in our country. So each and every one of us need to look around, need to see that if anyone around us is feeling inferior, if anyone around us is feeling shy, or anyone around us is feeling sad or is depressed, what we have to do, we don't have to be a scholar, we don't have to be a professional to to get them out of it, but at least we can try a bit so that they can feel like, no, they care, these people care for us, he care for us, she care for us. Okay, let's move on. The thing is, what made a person go depressed? What made a person go depressed? The major issues are two. First, he feel inferior. He feel that I am not talented. I don't have this. I don't have that. I don't do this. I don't do that. So this make him feel inferior, and this is the reason he go into depression. Other thing is, he don't love himself. He don't care about himself. He feel less important. He don't give importance to himself, and this what make him go depressed. So how to eradicate this thing? The first point, inferiority. How inferiority people get? The thing is, they look to the people who have better living than them. For example, a person traveling for bicycle wishes to have a motorcycle. A person travels with motorcycle wishes to have a car. A person travels with a car wishes to have a truck or aeroplane, you can say. So this is an ongoing process. It's a cycle. Everyone who is poor want to get rich, and he look at the richer. And this is where problem arises. One don't want to look at the richer, but to the one who is below him. If a person who having an aeroplane look at the person who has a car, he will feel superior. He will feel better. He will feel, now I am having a good life, and he won't go in depression. Same way, if a person who is having a car look at the person who is having a bike, he will feel much better. Yeah, okay, I am living a good life, and I am having a good life. I am living a healthy life. I am living a better life. Same way, the cycles goes. So what I suggest here is, one must not look upon the person who is above you. Look at the person who is below you, and this will help you grow. This will make you feel superior. Similarly, I quoted, second thing is self-love. Yeah, self-love is very much important. What people do is here, they don't love ourselves. They feel like, yeah, I don't have any quality, I don't have anything, so I don't deserve anything. I don't deserve to even live. Many youth nowadays, because of inferiority complexion, the thing is, the trend which is set on social media, especially I will quote on TikTok. You will see on TikTok, mostly TikTokers wear costly shoes, costly dressings, costly everything. They will be like, they used to show, they are brand, and they will show like, yeah, we wear brand, and this is the necessity. If you don't have a brand, then you are nothing. This bring a thing like people feel like, yeah, I don't have this, and because of this I'm not good. I don't deserve to live. I don't deserve to survive. I can't survive in meetings. I should not go and I should not meet. And this arises the depression. I hope you all are getting me. I am going a little bit fast, but I hope you are getting me. So what we need to do is how one can self-love is start recognizing ourselves. Start taking our talent as skills as important. Give them importance. See, if a person don't have dancing ability, he have friends who have a good dancers. He have a friend who can dance well. So what he should do? He should not run behind just that. He should not go and try to do dancing. But he can do what he is good at. If he is good at painting, he should go and do that. So by doing that, he can create a good environment. He can create a good mental health. He can create a good, self-respect for himself. So I would suggest do skills, do things which you are good at. So this can make you love yourself, and always keep your work. Always keep your thoughts about everything. If a person comment about you, something about your personality, don't listen to them. Listen from one ear, remove from another. Don't keep it in your mind. And if you want to take it, if you want to keep it, then keep it as what I'm saying. Keep it in your mind to grow, to make it to change the scenario. If you keep your criticism, if you take your criticism happily, you will grow. Let's move on. What one must do to overcome all these problems a youth have. See, many people don't have friends around him, don't have family to talk about. Okay. Likewise, the session before me, someone asked a question that what one must do, what one must do to overcome depression and all. So she replied very well. But I must suggest one must keep a mentor. Yeah, I'm getting it now. Someone asked what about an introvert person. See, if an introvert person don't share with many of the people, okay, that's the problem with him. What he has to do is he has to keep mentors. What I'm suggesting mentors, because if he keep mentors, a mentor should not be of his age. That would I suggest. A mentor should be an experienced person. It can be a teacher, it can be a senior, it can be his colleague or a boss. Keep mentor who has experience, who has lived his life, who has seen a life, so he can properly guide you. And the thing is, not just accept everything what mentors say. Listen to them, take advice from them, but do what your heart says. Take advice not from just one person, but 2%, 3%. I am sharing my experience. In my lifetime, I have done this many a time, and I am successful just because of that. I have gone through many phases. I have seen many phases, but doing this helped me a lot. Taking suggestions from mentors, talking about it. You have to open up to a mentor. If you open up to a mentor, then he will guide you. Sometimes he might say something which hurts you, but that will be for your benefits. Okay, so start keeping mentors or idols, but don't make mentors or idols who are not reachable, who you can't reach to them. Like, for example, don't keep idols or mentors who are today's influencers on social media, because if you keep them, if you take advice from them, you can't reach to them, and you can't give them, you can't explain them your proper problems and proper situations, which can't get you proper answers. So try to keep mentors to whom you can reach easily. Okay. So now let's move on. There is a major one major issue in the youth today is they feel or they what they do is they in a relationship when they get in a relationship they let ourselves down. Okay, they wanted to be a torch bearer. They wanted to keep relationship healthy, and they wanted to keep going a relationship, which creates a problem. If you give more importance to other person than ourselves, if you give more importance to them, this will gonna create a problem in a relationship. We have to balance. Like I quoted, life is like riding a bicycle. If you have to keep moving, you have to keep balance. So here we have to keep balance, a balance of relationship in which both of the members. I'm not talking about just a boyfriend and girlfriend relationship or love relationship. I'm talking about relationship with parents, with friends, with BFF. Okay. So we have to keep a connection with them. We have to keep a balance. There is a message, I guess I should read it. As far as I have seen, introvert people think before they talk. Finding out a mentor would be difficult for them. Yes, they may have quality friend, but maybe they feel good by keeping to themselves, don't they? But see, as ma'am quoted before me in the last session, that they have to open up. They have to open up to someone, one or two people. So better from the beginning, an introvert, if he makes a mentor for him from the beginning, you don't have to open up to everyone else. You just have to open up to that two or three people who he take as a mentor. This will really help them to grow. And see, if an introvert person don't share anything to anyone, this will create a real problem to him. At last, he has to go to a professional who will take sessions, and it will take a time to cure him. And before it go out of hand, one must try to keep. I will suggest to each and every person, he is an introvert, extrovert, you have to keep a mentor, one or two. The mentor you can reach out. Okay. So let's continue. And thank you for the question. Okay, so I was talking about relationship. I have seen by working for Youth Against Injustice Foundation that many members of our NGO they share this that I had a relationship in past, and because of that I gave much importance. I got dished, and now I'm in depression. Why you are getting depression? It's a phase of life. You get with there will come many people. Some people will stay with you forever. Some will come, teach you a lesson, and move on. We have to take it as a life. See, if you're riding a bicycle, there has to be two pedals. You have to keep on moving frequently. If you don't hit the pedals, the cycle won't move on. So take this as an example, and if you don't keep on moving, if you don't keep on pushing yourself, if you're stuck at a one place, there won't be change in your life. So I would suggest, stop thinking about what happened in past. Stop stuck in the past. Try to move on. Try to push you on. And by doing this, start setting small goals for yourself. See, the thing is, if the person take a goals like, for example, I will score this percentage this year. For example, a person is studying in 10th standard. He will set a goal. We all have done this. That I will try to get 75%. I will try to get 80% mark. I will try to get 90% mark. He knows his abilities, and if he is capable of getting 75% easily, he will try to push himself up by 5 or 10%. He will try to get 80, 85%, 90%. He will set a mark for himself. He tries to challenge himself. Keep challenging yourself. Keep challenging yourself. Keep taking goals. If you keep taking goals in your life, small goals, and if you keep achieving them, you will find that this is the best happiness you will have in your life. A small change, a small goal in your life will help you a lot. Okay? If you keep a small goal and you achieve it, you will find a great happiness in it. I hope you have understand it. Let's move on. See, many a times, as you all are students now, you had a great break in this lockdown. Many of you have a great break because colleges are closed. Every other activities has been closed. Even we being an NGO, we are not working on the ground for last 5 months. So while having this big break for us, many people take this break as bad. But I would like to say this break gave us an immense opportunity to know ourselves. Many people, many members of Youth Against Injustice Foundation, and I have seen many youth as well on social media platforms, that during this period of 6 to 7 months of lockdown, they have achieved something. They have found something about themselves. Okay, so what we must have to do? We must have to take breaks in our life. Breaks in our life is very much important. Have you ever thought about this? Why school gives holiday on Sunday? Why there is a holiday on Sunday? Why there is a need of a holiday on Sunday for students? Because if you keep on studying 7 days a week and 30 days a month, 31 days a month, you will get a breakdown. What breakdown is? You will go at a point and you will say, enough, I don't want to continue. I have it enough. So the school provide you a break on a Sunday so that you can reevaluate yourself, so that you can refresh yourself, so that you can do other activities which you like the most. This break gives you a hope that I can rest, or I can do other activities, I can play, I can do immense stuff. I can spend a quality time with my family, which I can't do on other 6 days because of my busy schedule of my school, college and job. Here we mostly have students Here mostly we have students talking about with we are discussing everything with the students. So the students get holidays or breaks so they can reevaluate themselves. But the people who work, the people who do jobs, the people who do 8-hour jobs, the people who are doing businesses, especially the person who do business, he don't get holidays usually. He don't take holidays usually, and he keep on working in the cycle every day, 24/7, 7 a week, and 30 days a month. So this will create, a pressure on his head, a big burden on him. And at one day he will break down, and he will like, okay, enough, I don't want to continue. Or he will like, I have to reevaluate, I have to change my pattern. This will be very late for him. So a break is very much important. This lockdown this is the best opportunity we had to grow ourselves. Even now, it's not late. I guess there is many colleges yet to open. We still have a time of around 15 to 20 days or 1 month. Maybe they will going to start from the next month. But some colleges are going to start late. So we should try. We should try to reevaluate ourselves. We should try to find hidden talent inside ourselves. So this, if we try to find something, we will get something which can give happiness to us, which can create a good environment around us. Try to, or if you can't find anything good in yourself, try to do social service. At least this will help you a lot. When we do social service, there is a campaign we do named as Khushiyan Baato campaign. In that campaign, what we do is we go to underprivileged students, we go to slums, we go to backward classes people, and we provide them with either food, either study material, either goods to wear, from clothes, footwear, everything. So when we go between them, when we talk with them, when we share this, when we give them something, and the return they give, the smiles on their faces, the way they talk, the way they look at us, this gives a really goosebump to me, and this really helps us a lot to grow as a human being, to grow to come out of the depression. Many of our members who have been who have gone through a depression, when they start doing this campaign, Khushiyan Baato campaign, they are totally changed their mindset. They have totally come out of the depression just because they are going and looking at the people, as I mentioned before, that they are looking at the people who are inferior to them. They're looking at the people that how living in a slum area, how living in such a small house, still they are so happy, so living, so active and so talented. Why can't we? Why can't we do this? This is the thing they notice. Second, by giving something. If a human spends something on others, if a human give a charity, he will get abundance return from that. You might have heard that एक रुपया दो तो 10 रुपए देगा. This is the thing beggars come and go around and talk about it. But this is the reality. We might never experience it, but I have experienced it, and this is the reality of the world. If you give a 1 rupee for a charity, you will get 100 rupees, not as a money, but as a happiness, but as a joy, but as a satisfaction. So start doing social activity if you can do it. A small part of yours doing a social activity will help grow our community, our society, our country. Okay, so coming to an end of my session, I want to tell you all guys that life is like a heartbeat. It goes up, it goes down. Okay, and it shows bad times, bad phases. It shows good phases. Okay, but you do not afraid of it. When the life shows you the bad phase, take a deep breath, calm yourself, take a deep breath and say, this time will pass. I will say, ये वक्त भी गुजर जाएगा. Keep repeating yourself this. Say it 3 to 4 times and you will find that, yeah, okay, I can do it. You will get some courage. Say it loud so that you can hear yourself that this time will pass. Take deep breath and say this time will pass. Also, there will always be a new morning. There will always be a new morning. होता है. हर रात के बाद सवेरा होता है. This is the old saying in our country. We never take them seriously, but this is the reality. That every night goes and comes a new morning. So this is I will end up my session here. If you guys have any question, you can ask. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for your welcoming speech. You covered almost every part. You covered almost every part in a broad spectrum. Guys, if you have any question, you can take it.
I guess I gone too fast to.
You have already covered everything in a broad spectrum way. People don't have a question, I guess.
I tried my best, and I am very
Thank you
grateful that
so
you
much.
let me. I am very grateful that you let me talk here. To be honest, this is my very first session with the people outside Youth Against Injustice Foundation, and I'm glad that I get this opportunity to talk. I have taken many sessions in the Youth Against Injustice Foundation. I have talked and I have shared many experience, but this was the best experience for me. And I have
Thank you so much, sir.
I heard the session before me, and Nimisha ma'am was very good. She has spoke very well. I might not spoke good English. I tried my best because mostly I speak in Hindi, but I take this as a challenge and I try to speak in English for more than 20 minutes. And I'm happy that I have tried and I have succeeded. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you, Sneha. Over
Thank
to
you
you.
so much, sir. Your emotions were sufficient enough to fill the words. That was
Yeah.
sufficient enough. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If anyone has a question, I can carry on with it.
People,
Until
if you have questions, come up with your questions. Sir, since no one is asking question, I'll ask you a question.
Yeah, sure, go on.
Sir, people are not basically aware of what about domestic violence. Will you let us know about domestic violence?
Okay, good question. The major problem here is women or girls of our society is always taken as a second human being. And I'm not just talking like in the air, but this is the reality. If you see around yourself, you have seen that many husbands do domestic violence by verbally or by physically. And after seeing this throughout his life, a boy, after seeing this throughout his life, a girl, after seeing this throughout his life, boys take it as I am superior to girl, and girls take it as I am inferior to boy. Nobody teach them this, but the mentality or the expressions or the verbal abuse or the physical abuse which takes place in the house give them this idea automatically. Okay, so when this idea gets fitted in the mind of youth, of boy or a girl, and when they grow up and they get married, they will follow the step of the parents. You might have all heard that mother is the first teacher of a child. Okay, so she never try to go ahead of her husband. She never stop. She never try. And when she do it, there is there's a 90% chances that relationship will go into divorce. So what I'm trying to say here is, how can we control domestic violence? To control domestic violence, we need to start doing awareness. This is where Youth Against Injustice Foundation comes. We aware parents as well. We tell them that doing physical or mental abuse or physical abuse or verbal abuse in front of your children in both ways. I'm not saying that only husband do physical abuse on women. Nowadays, I have seen many videos and I have gone through many cases where women also doing this with their husbands. Not by physically but verbally in front of the children. This gives a very bad impression on the mind of the children. So we do session of the parents and explain them that please don't do this in front of the children. If you still want to do it, in every relationship there will be a fight. You might have heard this quote in Hindi. They say, घर है तो घर में बर्तन है तो बर्तन जब खाना पकेगा तो आवाज तो होगी. You might have heard this. So when there is a voice, there will be a voice. When people when they live together, there will be a conflict, and this conflict should not be in front of the children. We explain them, do it in private. Try to control that the children are not around you while you do this. And if you see that your children are around, please stop. please stop it. Continue afterward when they are not around. But if you say to eradicate totally domestic violence, to eradicate in our society, we have to start awareing ourselves. We don't have to go and start doing it on social media. I would suggest this. I would suggest you first start doing it in your house first. Start awareing people in your house, then in your area, in your society, in your building, then in your city, then in your state, then in your country. Social media is not the only place where you can aware people. Nowadays, the trend, people take a trend of awareing people on social media. Okay, many people get trend, but many people also get, bad impression of that thing. Because what situation they are going through, we don't know. We just go and do this blah 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 blah, and when they hear it, they will like okay, but they don't get it, and they take it as a wrong way. They take it in a wrong way, and they do something other things. So better start it from your house. If your house gets better, then your area will get better. If your area will get better, then city will get better. When the city will get better, then the state will get better, and finally your country will get better. So I will suggest, and I will ask you all people that please start awareness from your house. And if you can't do it in a one session, take time. Do slow poisoning, but try to control, try to change the mindset of your people, your house members, your parents, your brothers, your sisters, your uncle, aunties, who have this mindset which is creating a problem in society. This is from my side. I hope you get your answer.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. Guys, anyone else? Hi, sir.
Okay. Thank you.
Sir, regarding depression, today the hot topic is NEET 2020. Many people are even though being in 2020, people are out of depression. Students are suiciding nowadays. So how to overcome this? It's a parent's fault or individual's fault?
Actually, it's the fault of society, not the fault of parents, not the fault of children. Society has created such an illusion for students, for everyone around us, that people look at the society, they get depressed. In 2020 as well, there is no concern for others. If I would say in Hindi, people will like, apna apna dekh, bhai apna apna dekh. It's like matlab ki duniya. Okay. People are not want to help others. Very few, if you see, very few will found that they are really dedicated to this, that they want to help others. Other than that, all are behind this. They want to grow only ourselves. They don't want to help others. And when a student go in a depression, okay, and he don't share, like I said in my session, you need to keep mentors. If you don't keep mentor with you, if you don't have mentors, you will go a bad mental health disorder. So keep mentor to share and to get good advice. If you keep a mentor, you don't need anyone else to tell you what you need to do. Okay, this is the thinking of a student in 2020, that I know everything, I don't need anyone's advice. Okay, this came from the society, today's society, that I know everything and I don't need anyone. What's the reason of this? Reason is easily availability of Google, easily availability of internet, easily availability of knowledge. But that knowledge is not practical. That knowledge is only theory. What you get from a mentor is a practical knowledge, is the experience he has in his life that he is going to share with you. So I suggest keep a mentor, take advice from him, take advice from your parents. Mostly what happens in student life, that they don't take the parents' advice as an advice, but as a taunt, but as a restriction. They take it as a bad way, and this causes great difference between them. And due to this, the relationship gets weak between the parent and student, and then the student don't share anything, and they go in depression and try, and they get suicidal thoughts. And as I told when I mentioned, they seek people who are superior to them. They seek students who are superior to them, who are living happy lives, and who are having a good relationship with the parents. And this makes them go into depression, and when they go into depression, they get suicidal thoughts. So to eradicate these suicidal thoughts, we have to keep mentors, we have to keep sharing, we have to take advice as a good thing, not as a bad thing. And a teenager, a student don't know everything. We never experience everything. So we have to remove this from our mind that we know everything. We don't know everything. We still have to learn a lot. We still have to learn. In the world, there is so much knowledge, there is so much of immense of knowledge that you start learning from when you got birth till the time you go to your deathbed. Still, you will not have full knowledge what is present in the world. So, be wise, take wisdom. There is a wisdom in knowledge. Keep study, keep on taking advice in a good way, and keep on doing research. The basic thing what a youth lost today is they don't do research, they don't do self-study. They rely on people who just come and post rubbish on social media. They take it from here and they take it from there and believe it. This is the real problem arises today. We have to do our self-owned research, self-owned study to get at some spot, to get at some place. And internet is not the only option. We have to go and search books. We have to go and talk with the people of knowledge. We have to go and take advice and take knowledge from them. I hope I have answered you.
Yes, sir. We have next question on YouTube. Adya Sahu asks, how can I help my friend in depression? There is no reason behind it, but how should I help him?
Okay. See, if a person knows the reason behind the depression, then I will like he has achieved 90% of the you can say उन्होंने 90% उस चीज को अचीव कर लिया कि उसको किस तरीके से उस डिप्रेशन से बाहर निकाले. ठीक है, अगर उनको पता चल गया, if he knows that the person is depressed because of that reason, that particular reason, so you should never mention that in front of him. You should try to give the positive aspect of that situation. Okay. For me, I always say that everything happens for good. Everything happens for good. Like I'm sharing my experience. You guys will really like enjoy this. My experience is that I have failed in my 6th standard. I got only 12 marks in the Marathi subject we got in Maharashtra. Only 12 marks. So after that, and I didn't went into depression. I took it as a challenge that next time from now on I will try my best to study the language Marathi. And today I speak better Marathi than the real Marathi people because I tried for it. Okay. So what's good in it for me is I failed in 6th standard. What happened? The batch which I was in went forward, and when they went to 7th standard, the education committee changed the portion, changed the syllabus. They went to 9th standard till they get the changed syllabus. They went to 10th standard, they get changed syllabus. They went to 12th standard, they get the changed syllabus. So what my way of studying was, I used to study from the important question. I was not a scholar, I was not a student who studied whole out. I was a student who used to study before exam. I know there are many people listening to me who used to do this. So I used to study. So when if a syllabus change, I don't get the important question. See, this is the positivity I take from that failure of mine. Though I failed, though I stayed behind from my batchmate, but still, that is on a good note. That is good for me because if I had gone with them, I might have failed many times. But staying behind, taking a step back, gives you a good leap of hope. So I stayed back and I get a good result from it. So take positive things from even bad situations, even bad problems, even bad things. Even your failures give you positive things. You have to find it out. So I would suggest to my friend who asked the question, please, my friend, go and find out the positivity from the problem happened with the person who went in the depression because of that. Okay, try to find a positive note which will give him a hope, and that hope will help him to come out of the depression. I hope he gets his answer. Any other question?
Lovely answer, sir. One more question. What if I don't know the reason behind depression, but I know my friend is in depression?
This is the problem arise for a counselor, for a person, even for a professional. Until and unless he don't get to the point from where it started, from where the depression started, he can't give a cure. He can't bring the person out of the depression. Okay. So to find the real cause of the depression and to bring the person out from it, one has to do is this. He has to get into the mind of the person who is depressed. Not by attacking him, by slow poisoning, by trying slowly, like he has to become his BFF first. Talk him like you are his BFF. Listen to him. You know, many members in my NGO, when I used to start counseling, when I used to start talking with them, I just found out that they are not in an actual depression, but they just need a person to talk, a person to listen to them. And when they get that person to listen to them, they are totally fine. They're not actually depressed. Because we don't really know what is depression at first. We have to know what is depression. And that is a very big concept to talk about. And I guess I've already talked about a bit about it. But if you try to know what is depression, you can also go in a depression. If you are getting my point, what I'm trying to say here is, stop trying to know what is depression. Start trying to know how can I come out of it. Okay? And the thing is, what I said is here, many people when I talk, when they start sharing to me, they themselves come to know that they are not depressed anymore. They just need a person to talk. They just need a person to know what they feel. They just need a person to share. And this is how they come to know that they are not depressed. So many a times, members or children, students, youth, they are not actually depressed, but they feel like depression because they don't have someone to talk. And when they get that person to talk, and then they talk with them, they share with them, they open up with them, they feel totally fine. Okay? Next question.
Sir, Himansi Maheshwari has to ask, many people like to be in depression. What to do? Once you try to convince them that this is bad, they say that I like to be in depression, please leave it my own.
Okay. So such people come from very bad background or very bad, they have gone through very bad phase continuously. Like they had, for example, one has lost his mother around a year, 1 month ago, and then suddenly he lost his best friend as well. Okay, I'm just telling a scenario, I'm just telling an example. So continuously he has gone through a bad phase, which lead him to such toxicity that he don't want to come out of it. He want to stay alone. He want to, he want to keep himself into him. So such person takes time to overcome. Such person needs time. We must give a quality time to them. After giving a quality time, you will find out that he is trying to open up. Many times, spending a time, it might take 6 months, it might take a year. But you have to strive if you want to really help them. But there is a point when he or she will come out of his safe zone, and he will start sharing with you. Why? Because that incident which occurs in his or her life, the loss of mother, a loss of best friend, will fade at some point, will evaporize, and he will come to his sense, and he will know that he has to move on. He has to move on. What you can do here is try showing him the positivity of life. Keep trying to show and keep trying to put forward what is good in living. As I said, take him to social activities. To bring that person out of his safe zone, a person who has been toxic, take him to a place where you do social activities, where you meet people who really have lacks of problems. So when this person will see the problems of that person or that community or that slum area, he will automatically feel that I don't have much problem than them. He will come to understand that there are many people in the world who have much higher problems than me. Still they are living happily, still they are striving, still they are trying their best. So this will make him overcome, and this will make him think that I can do it, I can move on, I can live life like them, I can try, at least I can try. So this is the way you can bring a person out from his safe zone. Okay?
Thank you, sir. That was a lovely answer. People, you can take your next question. What is your next question?
Hi sir, I would like to ask a question. That is, we have discussed so far what we should do to help people in depression or how to bring them a positive note. But we see a lot of people, even in social media, how they make people actually trigger to go into depression. So what should we not do to make their depression much worse? So what all should we not do?
Yeah, good question. Actually, I wanted to add this in my session, but unfortunately I forgot to mention this thing. But I am going to talk about it right now. Thank you for reminding me. The thing is, as I mentioned, inferiority and superiority thing. That is also a reason a person who is superior tries to show off more often in front of inferior people. Okay, like if a person have iPhone, have a latest iPhone with him, what he will do is he will show off in front of his friends. He will do show off. He will try to remove his phone. He will show to them, and he will keep inside unnecessarily. They will try to show off, and even though the person who is around him, he is looking happy from outside. He is enjoying being with the person with iPhone, and he is not having iPhone. But still, deep down under him, he was feeling inferior. He was feeling lack. He was feeling that he is poor to him, or something in the back of his mind is going on. That why could I have iPhone? Why my papa is not giving me the iPhone? What it takes to give iPhone? I can get iPhone as well. Why I'm not getting the iPhone? So all these questions come. I'm just giving an example of iPhone. Don't take it as the real scenario, but it's an example. Then he will keep thinking, and this thinking will keep him going down. He will not share, and one day just that incident keeps happening, and he keeps thinking, and this thinking will drown him into the depression, and he don't even know that what happened to him. I've just given an example. There are much bigger things, much bigger examples to be given, but this is a basic example to understand the situation, how a person go into depression. And the person who is showing off, who is showing iPhone, he doesn't even understand that he is the source through which another person in front of him going into depression. Because he don't even think about that. He don't try to think that this is really creating a problem. He can't even imagine that what a person in front of me is thinking about it. But what he wants to do is show off. Why? Because it's trending. Everything in today's world of youth is trending. And this is where the problem arises. If you keep following a trend, if you keep doing a trending stuff, and this trending stuff, for example, I will make a big video on TikTok with my Hayabusa bike, wearing a goggle of Gucci, wearing a jacket, wearing a trousers of big company, and then I will show up. Okay, what this will give a message to others. The person who will watch that video, he will get a message deep down his mind that I can't afford it, I can't get it. He will go into depression. Why can't I be like him? But the influencer who is showing it and the trend they are following, and to be in a trend, after looking the video of a TikTok, the guy will try to follow the trend and he will try to achieve all those which are shown in the video. When he can't get it, when he can't achieve it, he will get into depression. Why? Because he can't follow that trend. This trending stuff makes a person, makes youth go into depression. This is my observation. And the very important thing I would like to share now, as it recalled me, which I forgot to mention in my session, is how one can grow, how one can be a successful person. How I am happy and I feel I am satisfied, I am successful is more observation. If you keep on doing observations, small observations in your life, you will really get good result out of it. You will you will get successful. I will give some examples. If you're riding a bike, okay? If you're riding a bike and there is a turnaround, there is a curve on the road. If you're riding a bike, if you did not observe there is a curve around and you just riding a bike, there is a 80 to 90% chance you will meet with an accident. Okay? So you have to stop, you have to keep an observation. Okay? There is an alley coming to a main road. A person coming from an alley doesn't keep observation, he is not sharp enough and he comes directly into the main road. What will happen? There is a 99% chance that you will meet with an accident. And if that person who is coming from an alley blow a horn, then people who are running bikes or cars on the main road will get aware that someone is coming out from that alley. So this is not observation. I will give you an example that if you keep observing everything in your life, if you keep observation on small things, you will achieve big success. You will get a big success and you will become a good person. You will become a person who can help others by more observation. So this is on this last note, I would like to tell you everyone, start observing everything around you. Even in a case of rape, I would like to give this suggestion to the girls who are watching this. If you keep observation, if you do observation, you will get that you will get the instinct that who is trying to rape you with his eyes, who is behind you, who is trying to follow you. Small observation of yours can save you from having a bad incident with you, from you getting a rape. I'm not telling it's your duty, but awareness. Being a pharmacist, I would suggest prevention is better than cure. This is I know that you all are doctor, you are studying, you are doing medical, and you all know this. This is a famous quote that prevention is better than cure. So doing observation, you are doing a prevention. So start doing observation. This will prevent you from big incidents. I hope I have answered you.
So I have a question.
Okay.
Before this question, you answered someone else's question. Like before this one, I heard the last few lines where you said that if someone is sad, you can just tell them that maybe. I mean, you can look at the brighter side because other people. I mean, you are doing a lot better than other people, right? So I mean, you said something like this. So I just wanna ask you this thing that if like I feel sad sometimes and I confide in people, but then people just say sometimes that someone like you're still doing a lot better than me. So like it's just like they say that you do not deserve to be sad because you're still in a much better position than most people in this world. So I have this really beautiful quotation which says that telling someone not to be sad because others have it worse is like telling people that they can't be happy because others have it better. So like I get it that if you tell people that I mean you're still in a good place than most people, like there are a lot of people who are suffering in this world, and I do realize that I'm in a much better place, like financially, emotionally, and everything. But it's just that some people take it positively and others will do.
Totally that depends on the perspective people talking about, and also the situation in which this quote is told. You know, there are different situations to handle. There are different situations in which we have to take this situation differently. For example, I have just talked about journal situations. But as you said, you go sad, and when people tell you this, you might take it a wrong way. Okay, that happened. That's totally human tendency. Many people take. I have told you, na, when your parents give you good advice, when a parent give a good advice to children, he might take it as a bad way. It totally depends on what he is thinking about at that situation or what is the situation at that place. So it's totally situation-based thing. When a person gets sad and when someone tell him that don't worry, don't be sad, that you are in a good situation and people suffering and all that stuff, and thinking about that people, he will get more sad. Okay, this is what you have to say, right? Thinking about those people that they are sad as well, he will get more sad. Okay, then this is total human tendency. What the person has to do is he has to see the situation while talking about this. If you don't see the situation and talk like this, the person who is trying to bring cheer, who is trying to cheer him up, will get more sad. Okay, so what the person has to do is, in this situation, he has to tell him that don't take that sadness. Be positive. What the situation is, that I told before, like if a person is dealing with a problem, like I have got my failure and I have found the positivity in that. So then don't tell him about sadness, tell him about the positivity. What I'm trying to say here is, आप उसको उस चीज के बारे में ये मत बोलो कि ये तू कहीं ज्यादा उससे अच्छा है. आप उसको ये बताओ कि ये तेरे लिए अच्छा है. This is good for you. If you do this is good for you. But if you say him like this कि भाई they are suffering more than you, so you don't suffer, then he will go sad. Then don't say like this, say like this. If this has happened to you, this is the positive thing you should take from it. I'm not getting the example to make you understand it, but the thing is, if a person is in a bad condition, if a person is dealing with a problem, with a situation, for example, he had a breakup, okay? He had a breakup, and his BFF go and tell him that I had 2 breakups recently. So why you are getting sad? I have to be a sad person. Why you are getting sad? So that person will get more sad. Why? Because he had a breakup and his best friend had two breakups. So he will get sad. But instead of that, what this person has to say, bro, don't worry, even I had two breakups, I have move on, you can also move on. Take the positivity. If I can move on, you can also move on. So there's no need to be sad, there's no need to worry about it. If I had two breakups and I can move on, you can also move on. This is a positive note you have to take. Okay? Do you get me?
Yes, sir.
We have to tell him the positivity of
Then
it.
I hope he was clear with his words.
Sorry?
Finally.
Jitan, I hope he was clear with his words. You got your doubt clear.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sir, there is the next question. The person
Yeah.
says his name is the legend of the world. His question is, sir, how can we make a person come out from trauma? I don't know exactly. Maybe mental trauma he was talking about. Sir,
How can what? Sorry,
how can we make a person?
I have already answered this. How can you make a person come out of trauma? Trauma is then we have to know which kind of trauma it is. I have told you that everything can be done as per the situation. That is the reason I told you guys to make mentors which you can reach. Take mentors whom you can reach. Don't take mentors whom you can't reach. If you reach your mentors and if you tell them the real situation you are dealing with, then and only you can get the real answer. Like, see, if he is talking right now about a trauma, I don't know what trauma is the person what trauma he's talking about. And even if he mentions mental trauma, then also I don't know what kind of mental trauma is going through. Unless and until I have heard him, I will know the whole story of him. I will know the basic cause of what mental trauma is going through and why he is going through a mental trauma. And until then, I can't help him. So everything starts from try to start it from your surroundings. Try to get it from his surroundings. If a person is getting a trauma, if a person is in trauma, you are next to him. Try to understand the basic cause of it. Unless and until you don't know the basic cause, you won't get him out of it. I told you, if you know the basic cause, you get him 90% out of the depression. You know why he is dealing with the trauma, you get 90% recovery for him. So when you know what is dealing with him, try to show him the positivity. Try to bring positivity from that case. Try to show him what he is going to achieve from it. A lesson, a good experience. And if he is really a bad condition, then I would suggest that he should go and take help from professionals. Okay?
Thank you so much, sir. Anyone else to ask question?
I guess I'm really enjoying it right now.
Anyone else? Sure. Even though we...
I would like to just add this. See, I am not a professional counselor. What I am sharing here is just more my experience, what I have gone through throughout my life. I am 20 years of age, and this 20 years of age has taught me all of this. Why? Because I kept doing observation. And I would suggest you all guys that if you want to be a person, if you want to be a really helpful person, a good person in the society which can help, start observing things around you. Start observing people who are really need you. Start observing things which can help you grow. And on this note, I will end up my session and I will end up, I guess I have answered you all. Thank you very much. I really enjoyed it.
So one more question to be taken. Will you please? One more question, last question, sir.
Yeah, sure. Go on. I am enjoying it.
Actually, you can take your question. Sir, even though we are in the modern world, sexual differences are still persisting in the educated families. Then what's the difference? What's the situation in the uneducated families and in the rural areas? And when this reform will be completely successful?
Good good question. Extremely good question. I would like to answer it from not from my perspective, but from the perspective of Youth Against Injustice Foundation. Today, I am representing Youth Against Injustice Foundation. So, I would like to tell this is the basic work or basic point we are working on right now to eradicate this discrimination of gender. We are trying to bring gender equality. When we take seminars, when we take sessions of children, of the students, we will give them this message. We will give them this message that ladka ladki ek saman. This is the message we give in each and every session of ours to students. We try to make them understand that we all human beings are equal. Okay. And talking about the rural areas and areas and the families which are uneducated, I would like to tell you this, that I have experienced the people who are uneducated, they are uneducated, but they are totally attached to their religion or to their society, to their culture. They really talk about equality instead of the people who are educated. The more the people are educated, the more they don't share their education. This is the reality of the groundwork. I have seen it. I have experienced it. If you talk with a student whose parents are working class, you will find that he don't know anything about sex education. He don't know anything about gender equality. He don't know basic discipline in our day-to-day life. But if you talk to a person whose mother is a housewife, whose only father is working, you will come to know that he knows sex education, he knows how to talk in public, how to communicate in public, and he knows to respect girls. Why? Because her mother was his or her first teacher. She taught them the basic requirements of living, basic requirements of life. So, from my perspective, for Youth Against Injustice perspective, what we have doing awareness thing in our locality. As I mentioned before, I am mentioning again. There is a gender discrimination. A lot of there is gender discrimination in India, and this is the reason I have mentioned the reason that a boy and a girl living in a family seeing physical and mental abuse and verbal abuse. They learn, boy take it as he is superior to girls, girl take it as they are which scenario will in the future this scenario creates discrimination. When we started our NGO Youth Against Injustice Foundation, we talked on basic like around many hours. We just discussed what is the basic cause of rape. And you will find that gender discrimination is one of the major issues. Discrimination. Boys think that, or men think that a girl is a sex toy. She is just to fulfill his household work. She is just to fulfill his sexual desire. But no, this is not the only reason. Rape takes places to show that we are superior. Many times men do to take revenge, men do this to show that they are superior and the women or the girls are inferior. I hope you get your answer.
So here I have a question. You mentioned that girl should be a housewife, father should be working. In that case, the child grows up with a well-disciplined family. So, sir, in this scenario, once we gonna grow up, we gonna become a doctors. So, sir, do you think that our our child will become abusive or something because we'll be working, our husband will be working something?
See, that depends totally depend on the what quality time you spend with the children. Being a doctor, I have seen, being a pharmacist, I have seen families of doctors where being a doctor working tirelessly whole day, at night when he went to home, when my family, I'm talking about the family doctor, I have seen him, when he went to home, what he do is, he gives full 1 hour to his children. 1 hour. He spent 1 hour with his children and he asks them what happened today with them. He knows, he try to ask what happened in the school, what they did, what they eat at lunch, what their friends did, everything in that 1 hour. So he spent a quality time, though he is busy whole day. And what his clinic time was, I have seen him working tirelessly. His clinic time, he closed clinic at night at 11 o'clock. So after going home at 11 o'clock, still he gave 1 hour or sometimes half hour to his children. He got two sons. He talked with them and I have seen them grown. They are successful now. One is living in US and one is living in Canada. They both are very much successful because they had a good interaction with his father every day. So if being a working class people, you have the rights of children which you have to fulfill. It doesn't mean if you are working, you don't give time to your children. Many parents do this. When they come from work, they will be like, and when children come to them to talk, they will be like, please yaar, abhi mat baat karo, abhi main thak gaya, I don't have time for this. This creates a problem. I was talking about this thing. One should not say this. Instead of this, one should listen to him. Even though only for 10 minutes. But you have to give a quality time to your children. To make them something. You have to put your values which you have in you, in yourself, which is given to you by your parents, which is given to you by your culture, which is given to you by your religion. And one must also see, I am working in an NGO, I believe in spirituality. One must also stick with the spirituality as well. If you stick with the spirituality, you will find a peace of mind. I guess you guys know or don't know. Today is the day of birth of a Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I have celebrated this last night. I was awake whole night. I slept at 7 o'clock and I wake up at 9 o'clock for this session. Why I am doing this? Why I was awake whole night? Because I want to be spiritually attached with it. I want a peace of a mind in myself. And I'm really feeling fresh. Do you guys find that I was awake whole night last night? I didn't sleep whole night. The reason is I was not just awake. I was spiritually attached to something. I was doing something spiritual. So this gave my mind a peace. This gave my mind calmness. This gave myself a calmness. And that's the reason I can speak in front of you. In the beginning of my session for 2 minutes, I was not stable. But then I started getting stable because I started getting spirituality from my mind. I started getting peace and I started talking fluently. So one must also attach to spirituality and also give quality time and also teach all the religion values, because religion gives you values, give you way of living. And today modern world has totally ignored it. Only the bad perspective or bad things of the religion are getting into the mainstream medias, and the good things and the good part of it has been slipped out of our heads. Any religion, I'm not talking about particular religion, I'm talking about all of the religions. I have studied religions. I have tried to find similarities. what people do when they read religion is they try to find differences, and what I try to do is I try to find similarities. To be honest, to be practical, if you study religion, all religions, you will find 90% similarities in them. I am telling it because I have done it. I have done the research. 90% similarities. So you should attach spirituality as well. You should teach religious values. You should teach discipline values. You should teach your children, and you should spend quality time with them. A message from here to parents. I want you all to show this to your parents that please spend quality time with your children. I request please spend quality time with your children. I hope I answered your question.
Lovely message, sir. Thank you so much. Guys, we'll take one more question if anybody has to ask, or we'll end the session.
Sir, one more question. One last question.
Yeah, no.
Sorry, sir. Because we
No,
cannot do
it's
anything.
okay. I'm totally enjoying it. I'm liking it.
Your session is so interactive that people have to ask questions.
That's good.
Sir, many
Actually, you can
NGOs,
continue.
sir, many NGOs like you are working towards. Many NGOs like you
Yeah.
are working to overcome the rape incidents in our society, and
Yeah.
even the media is focusing on the ill effects after the rape incidents. Even though you are making such efforts, we are witnessing the daily rape incidents in the newspaper, sir. How to get rid of this?
Actually, I would like to ask you a question as well. How many rape cases daily you heard about them? How many rape cases you heard daily?
Sir, at
Or,
least in
on average.
all over India, it's they are happening on one or the other day, sir.
No. How many do you hear? Do you heard or do you read in the newspaper or do you see at the mainstream media? This is my question.
In the newspaper,
I'm not asking for perfect answer. You can answer approximately how many you have heard. Anyone can answer this.
sir, in the news,
Sir has to ask that how many.
sir,
I'll
in
reframe the
newspaper-
question, Sri. Sir has to ask.
Sorry.
Hello.
Yeah.
I'll say, Sri, give me 1 minute.
Yeah.
Sir has to ask how many news reports about rape
Yeah.
do you hear or see on the news on a daily basis? How many of
Yeah,
them
right,
you see
correct.
on the news? This is what he's asking.
I don't need exact numbers. I just asking approximately how much rape cases do you come in your eye in front of you? How many daily reports you see, or how many time you heard a news of a rape on mainstream
Sir,
media?
Okay, at
You're
least
trying.
2 or 3 we heard every day, sir. In the
Okay.
newspaper.
Okay, I got my answer. I will answer your question. See, you heard about 2 or 3, but the actual stat is 87 rape cases per day throughout India get registered. Okay, 87 rape cases per day, approximately 87 rape cases per day registered in India. This is the only 70% of actual rape cases. Okay, not 100%, because many rape cases don't get registered. And this 87 rape cases per day happening in India is the latest data of 2019 I am mentioning in front of you. And this is the first time I'm mentioning it. 87 rape cases. Just imagine, every 17 minutes in India, a rape take place. Every 17 minutes. So the reason is we are not aware about it. Many people don't even know what are the rape laws. Indian youth are not aware about it. How will you go and try to find justice for yourself when you don't even know how to file a FIR? What is a zero FIR? How many girls here know about zero FIR? I think maybe 1 or 2 will answer that they will know about zero FIR. So there is a very much lack of awareness about the rape laws, about the real cause of rape, and about the stats of the rape. And this leads to think people like this. This is the reason that people think that there is no change in the situation. But unless and until you don't talk about it, unless and until you don't want to know about it, how would you try to eradicate it? For Indian people, rape is not an issue. Unless and until it comes in a mainstream media. Unless and until a case arises in mainstream media, it's not an issue. They will sleep until it comes to their house. You know what? This stat will definitely going to shake you all, that 90% rape cases are done. 90% rape cases, or the rapists, 90% rapists are from known of a victim. A person whom victim known properly. It can be uncle, it can be neighbor, it can be anyone. It can be cousin, it can be brother's friend. So when 90% of such people doing rape cases in house, how could you think that this is going to change the situation in India? So awareness is very much needed. What happens when a family member rapes a girl? When a family member rapes a girl in his family, parents don't let her to go and do a FIR for family's pride. Because if this come out, the family will have to suffer. And I don't know why, but the word rape is taboo in India. People don't want to talk about it. And when you talk about it, you will really get angry when you listen to what people have to say about rape. If you go and check Youth Against Injustice Foundation's page, named as Youth Against Rape on Instagram, you will find videos in which we have interviewed people, random people on certain places, and asked them what they think about rape, and you will be shocked listening to them, what thoughts they have about rape. So I suggest you all, please get aware about it. Try to bring out the stats. Try to talk about it. Unless and until we don't talk about it, we won't get the result. Our aim, our vision is Rape Mukt Bharat. But not just Rape Mukt Bharat. We want to also eradicate false rape allegations. Because false rape allegations are somehow attached with rapes. Because in today's world, if you check in today's world, that 87 FIRs which are taking place every day, 40% of them are fake. These 40% fake FIRs lead to suspicions to the real victims and cause the problem to real victims. And in our Indian law says, if 100, it says in Hindi, 100 दोषी छूट जाए चलेगा, पर एक निर्दोष को फांसी नहीं होनी चाहिए. Okay, if you are getting my point. So this is the reason that the justice is not done. We all have seen Nirbhaya case. Nirbhaya ji case is very much famous in our country. This is the case which has been solved the fastest way. This is the case which has been solved the fastest way in India, and that fastest way took 7 years to solve the case. To be exactly 5 years to solve the case and 2 years to give the death penalty. So to give the justice in India, it takes 7 years. So I guess I have answered you. Any more question?
Anyone else, or we'll call it off? I guess that's the answer. Thank you so much giving your precious time, and that also in your festive season and festive day. That also without the whole night
pleasure
sleep.
Is mine. Totally pleasure is mine. I really enjoyed talking with you all and your questionings and your awareness. And I want you guys to do one thing. Please share this video, this session with your friends, with your family, especially your parents, so that they can understand that what youth actually need to talk about. Okay? Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Sir. Thank you so much. We had a great session and people enjoyed it. The question was non-stop, sir. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you.